In this video, we will view a demonstration of Cloud ID's Passkey functionality, available today via Cloud ID's Passkey Connect. Passkey is part of the long-developed web standard of WebAuthn. The FIDO Alliance, the committee behind WebAuthn, has strived to replace passwords with an improved way to prove you are who you say you are. And the reasons are obvious. Passwords are vulnerable due to phishing, leaking, or sharing. Most of us human beings are just plain bad at creating them. The National Institute of Standards and Technology even compiles a list of the most guessable ones, such as, password is my password. We are even worse at remembering passwords. And that fact has an economic impact. Forrester Research puts the average cost at $70 per password reset call. And Gartner estimates that 40% of all support calls are password resets. Recently, Apple, Google, and Microsoft adopted passkeys into their SDKs and operating systems, and there is good reason. Passkeys promise a future where the user is not required to provide a password to validate their identity. Passkeys use cryptography instead. This process involves the creation of a private key on a device and a public key sent to the server. The server sends a challenge that only the holder of the private key can respond to, and the device sends back a response that the server with the public key can verify. Unlocking usage of a passkey is done by either fingerprint, face recognition, PIN, or any other method a device uses to authenticate a user, meaning users will utilize methods they use every day. Also, when using a passkey, biometrics data does not leave the device. Instead, it only unlocks the cryptographic exchange between the device and the server. Let's have a look at it in action. First, we'll see a user use a passkey with a biometric on their computer. The Mac in this demonstration has a Touch ID fingerprint sensor to enable biometrics. The first step the user will have to complete is registration. Registration can occur during a user's onboarding, or they could have an option to add it to their profile or be prompted after logging in with an interstitial or promotional banner. As you can see, when they click to register, the device asks for the biometrics from the user. At this point, both the public and private key are created, but only the public key is shared with the Cloud ID server. Once a passkey is registered, it is available for the user's next authentication. There are several UX patterns available for passwordless authentication, but in this example, the user can use a button or find their passkey using the login form. We'll demonstrate logging in using the fields from a standard login form. In this case, the user does not even have to remember that they set up a passkey. Taking advantage of a passkey convenience in HTML and JavaScript, the user's browser recognizes that they have a passkey set up, and they are shown a drop-down when they begin to action the appropriate field. Once they select their passkeys, the user is challenged for their biometrics. Behind the scenes, the server will issue a challenge that only the device that holds the private key can respond to due to the cryptography involved. After supplying a biometric, a cryptographically signed response is generated and passed to the server. The server uses the public key to verify. As you can see, there are no challenges to memory, no easily guessed credentials. The user simply uses a common mechanism they are familiar with. For the next part of this demonstration, we'll look at how we can use an external mobile device to authenticate. We'll start by repeating the process of registering, but instead of using the Touch ID that this Mac defaults to, we'll select Other Options. Then we can select Mobile Device instead, after which a QR code is displayed. So the user points their mobile device's camera app at the code to retrieve the address of the Cloud ID server. Once the user actions the QR code, the mobile device's operating system takes over and asks for a biometric to create the public and private key. After registration, we follow similar steps as we did on the desktop for login, but we'll use the passkey button this time. Again, when prompted for the biometric, we choose Other Options and then select the option for mobile device. Similar to registration, a QR code starts the process, and then the user is challenged for the biometric, and finally authenticated. This demonstration has shown Cloud ID's new passkey functionality as it is available today. Yet, even more exciting is it shows a potential passwordless future. A future where an end user's ability to create, remember, and keep passwords secret doesn't determine how much of a risk they are to themselves. A future where a challenge to log in is no longer a pain. A future where the Passkey's enhancement to security better protects our customers' intellectual property and financial transactions.